I bet you're worried.
We were worried.
We were worried about vaginas.
We were worried what we think about vaginas, and even more worried that we don't think about them. We were worried about our own vaginas. They needed a context of other vaginas, a community, a culture of vaginas. There's so much secrecy and darkness surrounding them. Like the Bermuda Triangle. Nobody ever reports back from there.
In the first place, it's not so easy to even find your vagina. Women go weeks, months, sometimes years without looking at it. A high-powered businesswoman was interviewed, and she said she was too busy. She didn't have the time. Looking at your vagina, she said, is a full day's work. You have to get down there on your back, in front of a mirror, standing on its own, full-length preferred. You have to get in the perfect light, at the perfect angle, which is then somehow shadowed by the angle that you're at in the light. You get down there on your back, you're arching your neck, you're killing yourself, you're exhausted by then. She said she didn't have the time for that.
So there were vagina interviews, which became Vagina Monologues. Over 200 women were interviewed. Older women, young women, married women, lesbians, single women, college professors, actors, corporate professionals, sex workers, African American women, Asian American women, Hispanic women, Native American women, Caucasian women, Jewish women. Okay. At first, women were reluctant to talk. They were a little shy, but once they got going, you couldn't stop them. Women secretly love to talk about their vaginas. They get very excited. Mainly because no one's ever asked them before.
Let's just start with the word vagina. It sounds like an infection. Maybe a medical instrument. Hurry, nurse, bring me the vagina. Vagina, vagina. Doesn't matter how many times you say it, it never sounds like a word you want to say. It's a totally ridiculous, completely unsexy word. If you use it during sex, trying to be politically correct, darling, could you please stroke my vagina? You killed that right there.
We were worried about vaginas, what we call them and don't call them.
In Great Neck, New York, they call it pussycat. A woman there said that her mother used to tell her, don't wear panties underneath your pajamas, dear. You gotta air out your pussycat.
In Westchester, they call it a poopy.
In New Jersey, a twat.
There's powder box, a poochie, a poopy, a pee-pee, a poopaloo, a punani, a pal, and a peach.
Toady, Dee-dee, Nishi, Dignity, Monkey Box.
Coochie snorcher, cooter, labe.
Gladys Siegelman?
Ba, wee wee, horse pot, nappy dugout.
A mongo, mookie, a pajama, fanny boot, mushmallow.
A ghoulie? Pussy blade, tamale, totita, a connie,
A Mimi in Miami.
A split knish in Philadelphia.
and a schmindy in the Bronx.
We
We were worried about vaginas.
Some of tonight's monologues are based on one woman's story, some are based on several women's stories surrounding the same theme, and sometimes a good idea became a great one. This monologue is based on one woman's story, although the subject came up in every interview and was often fraught, the subject being hair.
You cannot love a vagina unless you love hair. Many people do not love hair. My first and only husband hated hair. He said it was cluttered and dirty. He made me shave my vagina. It looked puffy and exposed, and like a little girl. This excited him. When he made love to me, my vagina felt the way a beard must feel. It felt good to rub it, and painful. Like scratching a mosquito bite. It felt like it was on fire. There were screaming red bumps. I refused to shave it again. Then my husband had an affair. When we went to marital therapy, he said he screwed around because I wouldn't please him sexually. I wouldn't shave my vagina. The therapist had a German accent and gasped, between sentences to show her empathy. She asked me why I didn't want to please my husband. I told her I thought it was weird. I felt little when my hair was gone down there, and I couldn't help talking in a baby voice, and the skin got irritated, and even calamine lotion wouldn't help it. She told me marriage was a compromise. I asked her if shaving my vagina would stop him from screwing around. I asked her if she had many cases like this before. She said that questions diluted the process. I needed to jump in. She was sure it was a good prize. It was a good beginning. This time, when we got home, he got to shave my vagina. It was like a therapy bonus prize. He clipped it a few times, and there was a little blood in the bathtub. He didn't even notice it because he was so happy shaving me. Then later, when my husband was pressing against me, I could feel his spiky sharpness sticking into me. Then later, when my husband was pressing against me, I could feel his sharpness sticking into me. My naked, puffy vagina. There was no protection, there was no fluff. I realized then that hair is there for a reason. It's the leaf around the flower, the lawn around the house. You have to love hair in order to love the vagina. You can't pick the parts you want. And besides, my husband never stopped screwing around.